Hello, you guys. Welcome to the Phoenix Rising podcast. Welcome to those of you watching on YouTube. So, as promised, the episode that I had queued up a couple weeks ago, the one all about intermittent fasting, fasted cardio, calorie deficits, and which one is the best way to really boost fat loss without losing lean muscle. That is what we are going to get into today. Total transparency. I had this exact episode on my schedule yesterday to record it. And I have all these notes written out about it. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to knock it out. And the reason I'm telling this story is because it fits perfectly in with what we're going to talk to today. I was way underfueled yesterday and I just did not have the energy. And like in the moment I was feeling my body respond to not having the energy, I was like, man, this is exactly what I'm talking about with deficits and fasting and all that. It was not intentional. Y'all have heard me talked about how like our macronutrients, our micronutrients and all that are super important, not just for physical health, but also for nutritional health. Sometimes the reason nutrition is a little more complicated than just giving like, here, eat 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight and eat 1 to 1.5 grams of carbohydrates is because it's challenging to factor in activity levels that are not physical. So if you are somebody that is constantly using your brain and burning up carbohydrate fuel with your brain, you're going to be hitting your macronutrients according to your physical activity, but not necessarily to meet your mental activity, which is what happened to me yesterday. I literally woke up and felt like I got hit by a bus. Like my body was just so heavy. I could barely keep my eyes open. I'm not even kidding y'all. I fell asleep on my couch at like 7:30 and slept until about 6 a.m. because I was just so tired. Now, the interesting thing about that, and what I always try to explain to clients is on paper, if I were to go to a nutritionist or to a doctor and be like, hey, these are the symptoms that I'm having, which if you're trying to assess this for yourself, the basic symptoms were I was like extremely fatigued. My body felt super heavy. My muscles weren't really recovering. Like I usually have pretty quick recovery in my workouts. I mean, I might be a little bit sore, but I'm not like wrecked. I was wrecked yesterday. So like my body is super achy. I might be a little bit emotional or I'm not like brain fog. Like I'm not thinking as well. Like it just feels like you get hit by a bus. So these are the symptoms. Now, knowing what I know about the body and nutrition, I also am like, I track everything. I track my food, I track my workouts, I track my water intake. I also have clients do this. They have to, in like our weekly calls, they have a chart that I ask them, like, how much water did you drink? What supplements did you take? What workout did you do? What day of your menstrual cycle are you on? Or for men, like, how much sleep have you gotten? Talking about your carbs or fasting. Like I have them track everything because it makes it very easy to assess if they're like, oh, I had a total energy crash or man, like my workout was really heavy and it was just hard for me to get through it. I can go back and take a look and be like, all right, so looks like you were under in carbohydrates or maybe you were under in protein, which is more of what happens, or maybe your hydration was under. But so fortunately, like I track all of these things for myself. And yesterday, I was like, God, what is my problem? And like, if you looked at my macros, I was around probably 2,400 calories, 220 grams of carbs, 150 grams of protein, like 95 grams of fat. Like I had a lot of food in me, but that was not equating for the amount of mental energy that I had been putting in throughout the last few days, working with clients, recording these podcasts, coming up with the content. So all of that plays a factor into it. So yesterday I rested. I loaded up on my complex carbohydrates, loaded up on my water, and I'm feeling a little bit better today. I can tell I'm still like, I need a little more carbohydrates. Like I have a lot of my energy back, but not like all of it. So on days like this, I'm actually playing around with this. And if you're somebody who is highly active, you can try this too, of doing once a week a refeed day. So to clarify, It is not a cheat day. It's not where you just go eat anything and everything. A refeed day is more so you are refeeding all of the good carbohydrates and water and sodium that your body got depleted of throughout the workouts in the week. So, like a refeed day for me, I might be 30 to 50 grams higher in my carbohydrates than I normally would just to refeed my body and give it fuel, especially if I'm feeling super underfueled like I did. I normally drink about a gallon-ish of water a day. I might do like a gallon and a half. And then I'll eat more salty foods or add extra salt in my food to replace all the sodium in my body as well. So playing around with that, and I'll see tomorrow how my lifts and my workouts are. But it was just ironic that the day that I had like this entire note of everything we're about to talk about with fasting and calorie deficits and being underfueled and fasted cardio and how to boost fat loss, that I was like, and this is exactly what I'm feeling, like super underfueled. All that to say, welcome to the Phoenix Rising podcast. I am Ashley Drummonds. If this is your first time, please stand up and introduce yourself. Just kidding. I would love for each person listening to do that. I'm like, hi, my name is Ashley and I like long walks in nature and animals. If this is your first time, welcome. We're going to get all into some very deep holistic nutrition specifically on this podcast today. But what you can expect to find on this podcast is not just holistic nutrition, but also talks about functional fitness, mindset and motivation, empowerment, with everything being totally about you becoming your best self from the inside out. So today's topic is all around helping you do that with the right tools on how to boost your fat loss while building lean muscle. I did get one question. If you are watching this and you see me clicking around, it's because I have to pull up my Google Docs that has all of our notes in it for this show. I did get one question regarding the conversation from a couple weeks ago when I was talking about nutrition for mental health and proteins and all that, of asking which foods have casein and which foods have whey. So specifically in the podcast, when I was talking about casein being important for slow absorption and digestion and whey being better for fast digesting, I was speaking more specifically to the forms of both of those in protein powder. So casein protein powder and whey protein powder. You would use casein protein powder at night, or if you want to mix it up throughout the day because it will sustain you for a little bit longer. And then you would use whey because it hits your muscles and helps with recovery and repair immediately after your workout. The foods, though, that typically whey and casein are found in, it's mostly going to be your dairy products. So anything that's got cow's milk, cheese, butter, cream, half and half, sour cream, all those dairy products are going to be really rich in both whey and casein. So hopefully that answers that question. Okay, so intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting. I get asked about fasting probably more than anything because old school bodybuilding and old school weight loss techniques used to always encourage fasted cardio. You get up first thing in the morning. When your body is in a fasted state, you should do extra cardio with the idea that in doing that, your body would be forced to use fat as fuel and you would burn more fat. Then intermittent fasting came along where you fast for specific time blocks throughout the day. So basically, to give you kind of a brief overview of what is intermittent fasting exactly. So intermittent fasting is essentially going long periods of time without eating. The point behind this and why it became so popular is because for some people, it can actually help regulate blood sugar, manage body weight, and help control triglycerides, your fats. The idea behind this, though, is it was meant more for people who were extremely overweight, but also meant for short-term use for people who are either like prepping for a surgery or they have an underlying health condition that they're trying to balance out. But I mean, The basic simple truth about this is anytime you are skipping meals, it is going to lower your daily calorie intake. Anytime you are in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. It is that simple. So intermittent fasting, fasted cardio, extreme calorie deficits, you will lose weight. The important thing though is what is it going to cost you to lose weight that way? Such as intermittent fasting can increase cortisol, which cortisol puts your body under extra stress. Extra stress can cause increased fat storage. On top of that, you take the risk of adrenal fatigue. Extreme calorie deficits can actually slow down your metabolism and cause all kinds of hormonal imbalances, health issues. It can disrupt your body's ability to regulate blood sugar. So intermittent fasting, fasted cardio, calorie deficits, yes, you will lose weight if you do it, but it's looking at the bigger holistic picture of what is it doing to your underlying health. So that's the point I want to make is it's not that it's not a way to lose weight. It's not that it can't effectively boost fat loss. You have to take into consideration, though, when a lot of people do these things, these types of approaches to weight loss or fat loss, what ends up happening is they end up gaining back even more weight than they had initially lost. We're going to dive into this a lot more, but that's kind of just a brief overview of this. So, like I said, the question kind of comes down to like, if you can lose weight by skipping meals, then why wouldn't everybody just skip meals and do intermittent fasting? If all you're doing is focusing on that. So like, say you were like, hey, I don't really care if this totally destroys my health. Like, will I lose weight? Yes. But there's the way I describe this to people is you have people who are athletic and lean and strong and healthy. Like they look healthy and fit. Then you have the people that might be skinny, but there's no real muscle definition to them that will actually end up having higher levels of body fat. So you can have two people who might, let's say you have two men, two women side by side who their shirt and pants size is the exact same. One of them is going to have a much higher level of cortisol and body fat. The other one is going to look like they have no body fat. That is the difference. So like they both can lose weight. The difference is the way the one that has less muscle definition, the way their body is shaped, is going to reflect their overall nutrition and fitness level. So it really just depends on what you want to look like and how you want to feel. I mean, personally, I would assume most people want to be toned and fit while having optimal health, not to just drop weight and then have all kinds of new health issues. Okay, so going back to like specifically intermittent fasting, and then we will get into fasted cardio a little bit and calorie deficits with that. Some people can do well with intermittent fasting. Most of the people who seem to respond a little bit better to intermittent fasting is men. Now, not all men, but mostly men. For women, there's actually been a ton of studies on how intermittent fasting can actually cause all kinds of problems, such as it can put women into early menopause. It can stop periods and menstrual cycles altogether. It lowers their libido, so they have no sex drive. It can also cause metabolism disruptions and then even mood problems, which the story I was telling you earlier yesterday, I was not fasting at all, but I mean, it definitely like being under fuel, definitely just, I had like no mental energy whatsoever. So anyways, yeah. So for women, intermittent fasting, those are the possible things that it can do because your body is just under so much stress and not getting the proper nutrients and food that it needs. It's not just women though who can have hormonal disruptions. Men can also experience hormones being disrupted with intermittent fasting. And the reason this can happen is because you have something called your HP axis. So the HP axis is part of the pituitary releasing signals and hormones in the body. What this does is the HP axis signals to the body to release LH, which is your luteinizing hormone, and FSH, which is your follicle stimulating hormone. What does that even mean? Okay, so for women, this is essentially the process of ovulation. So you need estrogen and progesterone so you can ovulate each month. When it gets time for ovulation, the body will release LH. You get a spike in luteinizing hormone, which signals to the brain to release the egg so that it can then be fertilized and become a baby if you want babies. But also FSH, which stimulates the ovaries to create eggs. For men, this is important, the having a regulated HP axis, because this is what signals for the body to produce testosterone and sperm. So we're not getting super into all those things, but that's the short answer to HP axis and why that's important. What in the world does this have to do with intermittent fasting? Right. Okay. So the HP axis is super highly sensitive. Its function can easily be disrupted by stressors. And one of the big stressors that it is sensitive to is the timing of your meals and skipping your meals, even if it's short term. I mean, even if you do it for like a month, it can still disrupt it. Why? Why is that so sensitive? Well, you guys have heard me talk before about how our bodies are highly intuitive and smart. It is always going to respond and do what's best to keep us alive, to keep us healthy, to make sure everything is functioning right. So if the body senses, and I want to stress this too, it does not matter if you are overweight and you have weight to lose, or underweight, or just like a couple pounds. And I want to kind of talk about that because a lot of people think like, well, my body has plenty of nutrients and fuels because I have an extra 20, 30, 40, 50 plus pounds to lose. So it's fine if I don't eat. No, it's not. Your body will still signal that it's under extra stress and it can disrupt the HP axis. So it does not matter about how much weight you have, which is why it's important to just not skip your meals altogether. So anyways, going back to what I was saying, our bodies are very smart and intuitive to make sure that we have everything that we need. So if we aren't getting enough nutrients and fuel to support what our body needs in order to send signals to the brain, like, hey, produce these hormones, blood sugar regulation, cortisol regulation, and all that, it will signal to the brain to stop the production of those hormones in order to basically help you, quote unquote, survive. So if you think about like, if you're about to have a baby, if you're about to get pregnant, which is what these hormone productions are doing, it's going to sense if you stop eating, because it's like, oh, whoa, hey, now is not a good time for us to go like adding on more stress to the body or to require more nutrients if we're already under fueled. So let's just stop this and wait until a better time. So what it'll actually do, so HP axis dysregulation is what it's called, can disrupt the hormone production. It can also cause a lot of things like increased anxiety, sleep disturbances. You kind of lose the ability, your blood sugar gets all over the place, all because of this extra stress on the body from fasting. So here's the other thing that happens too, is when your body signals like, hey, there's an alarm because for some reason we're not getting fed and fueled, the body is smart enough to take that signal and not only stop the production of those important hormones. And y'all heard me talk before about important neurotransmitters in the episode about nutrition for mental health, but it will actually end up increasing fat storage so that it makes sure that you have plenty of food and nutrition. It's like, okay, so we're not getting enough. So let's halt and stop all of these productions. In the meantime, hold on to any food we do get and store more fat just in case, like, we're never going to get fueled again. So that creates the next question. But Ashley, what if I have a lot of extra body fat and I'm not underweight? And this is what I was saying before. It does not matter. Like, your body doesn't know the difference between good stress, bad stress, a temporary fast, or if it's going to be a long-term fast and you're never going to eat again. Its job is simply to stay alert, to anything that throws the body out of balance. And if it throws the body out of balance, then the HP axis is responsible for making sure like, hey, wait, hold up, like cease production. Not sure what's going on, but apparently like we might be in survival mode and starvation mode. So hold off on all these other things that we need to happen. Make sure we have extra storage of fat so that if she never or he never eats again, we're not going to die. That's what happens. So you can thank your body for keeping you alive. And although it can be frustrating from like, well, dang it, like I thought like if I just quit eating, my body would have to eat its own fat. Yes, but that's not really the best way to go about it. So while men tend to do a little bit better with intermittent fasting than women, I'm still not a fan of ever skipping meals or underfueling your body because of the additional stress that it places on your body, which besides what it does to your HP axis that I just explained, it creates a cortisol imbalance as well. So extra cortisol can do a lot of things. If you have higher levels of elevated cortisol for long periods of time, and I'm not talking like years, I mean, we can be talking like 6 months plus, it can actually start to show early signs of aging because of the extra stress on the body, but it can also lead to adrenal fatigue, burnout. So our adrenals are really important for managing stress. It's also really important, again, for DHEA, which is the precursor to hormone production. So when I do lab work or I have clients do blood work and we're looking at the entire metabolic panel, we're looking at the hormone panel, blood sugars, cholesterol, triglycerides, all these things. So like look at not just like what the body looks like externally, but what is going on the inside too. One of the things we look at is the DHEA. If the DHEA or DHEAS is low, it usually means that you're on the edge of adrenal fatigue or that you are underfueled and your body is not getting enough nutrients to produce your growth hormones, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, serotonin, like your neurotransmitters and all those things. So it's super important that you keep cortisol levels elevated for that reason. So we then get into fasted cardio, which is technically, most people see this as like just a temporary thing because they think like, oh, I just like wake up and then I go work out and do like 20 to 30 minutes of fasted cardio. It's not long term. Yes and no. When you do first thing in the morning fasted cardio, you are coming into a long-term fast. If you're sleeping 7 to 8 hours plus like an hour or so that you're like getting up and waking up, you're still in a long period of fasting, even though you're thinking, oh, it's just 20 to 30 minutes and then I'll eat breakfast after. But the thing with fasted cardio is if you take everything that I told you about what fasting can do to your body with elevating cortisol levels, the extra stress, all those things, take that and now add on to it additional stress by putting more workload in exercise on the body. Like I said, the body does not recognize good stress or bad stress. So if you're waking up, the wake up process is cortisol. So your body is already elevated in cortisol and it's fasted. So that's higher cortisol. And now you are going to put additional stress on the body by forcing it to work out in a fasted state. All this does is continue to increase levels of cortisol, storing more body fat, but also putting you at risk at all the other things that we've been talking about. So I know that the logic behind this is, like I said, of like, well, if I work out fasted, then my body has no choice but to burn more fat and I'll boost my fat loss abilities. No. That's not what's happening. You're going to end up you're going to end up having a hard time losing fat and storing more fat, specifically belly fat, which is what most people are trying to get rid of. So to kind of like wrap all that up, fasted cardio, intermittent fasting, I am not a fan of any kind of fasting. Aside from a fat loss perspective, it just adds unnecessary additional stress on your body, your nervous system, and can totally disrupt your hormones. I mean, honestly, like, even when people are consuming the right amount of macronutrients and calories, like just our society in general, we already have extra stress. Then when you start to factor in like You're working out 3, 4, 5 days a week. That's additional stress. Then you have oxidative stress, which is environmental. Like there's a lot of stress that is already happening that your body does not need this unnecessary addition to it just because you're trying to boost a little bit of fat loss. So that's kind of how I'll sum all of that up. And like I said, if you go too long doing this, you're going to slow down your metabolism, increase cortisol, increase fat storage, disrupt your hormones. You're probably going to gain most of that weight back. Like it's not even worth it. So the fad diets, everything out there that's telling you like intermittent fasting changed my life. It, I mean, I don't know. There's more studies on the harm that it can do than people having like really positive effects. And the ones that are having really positive effects, it's a very small, specific group of people. You don't need to do that stuff. You do not need to do any kind of trend or fad or anything like that. So then we get into the other question, well, what about calorie deficits? Going back to the same thing. Anytime you are under eating, you will lose weight. So if you are taking in less energy, which calories are energy, if you are taking in less energy than you are burning every single day, you will lose weight. It is that simple. It's science. It's a mathematical equation. If you burn 3,000 calories a day and you only eat 1,500, you will start to drop body weight. But again, it goes back to, it's not just about losing weight though. You could also be losing muscle. You could also be totally screwing up your entire blood work and everything. So calorie deficits are what most people do. To me, an extreme calorie deficit for women is when you're around like the 1,000 to 1,200 calorie range. Like that's pretty low. That's really, really low. And I mean, some people like doing this for like a week. Some people do this if they're like prepping for a competition or something like that. I'm still not a huge fan of that extreme of a calorie deficit. For men, it's more so when men are under 2,000 calories a day. That's a pretty intense like calorie cut. And I mean, not to sound like a broken record, anytime you do something that extreme, it will signal off to your brain like, hey, something's wrong. There's an extra stress and it can cause all kinds of disruptions. So most of the big weight loss companies, like there's so many out there. It's crazy to me and it's crazy how many companies still exist with this approach because they start with an extreme calorie that they promise like you'll lose 30 to 50 pounds in a month. Of course you will. If you stop feeding your body, it is going to drop weight. Like it's that simple. So you start out and you're doing like, some of them are crazy extreme, like 900 calories for the first month. Then the next month you get to do 1,100. Then the next month you get to do 1,200. In the meantime, and like kind of common sense or like where my brain kicks in every time somebody talks to me about this, they cut the calories so low while giving you appetite suppressants and B12 shots. So the appetite suppressants are so you can't hear your body telling you like, hey, we need more food. And the B12 shots are to give you extra energy because your body is going to be so underfueled that your energy's got to come from somewhere. So this approach, and I mean, I have never met anybody who has done this extreme approach and had long-lasting results. I have had more people come to me who have tried the fasting, tried keto, tried this Medi weight loss, extreme calorie type diet, and gained it all back, that come to me frustrated because they're like, I don't know what to do. Like I've tried all these things and like it worked for a little bit and then I gained it all back. That's because you got to stop looking for the quick fix. Like the way that you boost fat loss, the way that you maintain lean muscle and you maintain those results is through consistent effort over time. And I know nobody wants to hear that because we live in a culture and a society that wants everything fast. And my mindset around things that happen very fast, whether it's weight loss, it's you become rich very fast, you fall in love very fast. Anything that happens that fast is going to fall just as fast and fail because there's no foundation behind that. Like No habits are developed. There's nothing there to solidify and maintain those new things. So with weight loss, like when you do extreme deficits and extreme approaches, like any of these things that we're talking about, you're not actually creating new habits and daily lifestyle choices that are going to carry you long term into looking and feeling the way that you want. So it doesn't ever surprise me, and like going back to like the money thing or the relationship thing, when people are like making money overnight, I'm like, that is going to burn out as fast as it started because you didn't learn how to be somebody that makes that much money. You didn't learn how to manage it. Same thing with relationships. Like they meet somebody, they fall in love, and a week later they're in a relationship, and a year later the relationship's falling apart. It's like, well, of course, because you didn't even know the person. You didn't take the time. Like anything that you dive into that fast, there is no solid foundation that has been built to be sustainable. And it's the same thing with your weight loss. That goes with everything in life. There's a whole podcast episode I did about that of, are you in the short game or the long game? The short game is going to last just as long as it took you to hit those results. Like if you lost 30 pounds in a month, you're probably going to gain 30 pounds in a month because it didn't actually do anything long term. So without going off on a whole other tangent about like our society and culture being so like immediate results and like fast paced and I got to have it right now. Like why? You did not gain the weight that you have in 30 days. So what makes you think it's a good idea to lose it in 30 days? You did not get to be the person you are in a month, in 2 months, 3 months. So it takes time. And if you are really focused on transforming your life and really focused on becoming healthy, becoming strong, fit, empowered, and all these things, it is going to take you developing habits, consistent daily actions, and patience, knowing that all of your efforts are going to pay off in the long run. So now that I've told you all the wrong things with extreme calorie deficits and intermittent fasting and fasted cardio, I'm sure the question then comes up is like, okay, Ashley, so then what is the best way to lose fat without losing lean muscle and having sustainable results? Well, you can do deficits in the beginning, but it's considered balanced deficits based on your macros and your daily energy expenditure. So when I start working with clients, especially if they have a decent amount of weight loss to lose, we have a very slight calorie deficit. So a slight calorie deficit is like 300 to 500 calories. That's it. But in that calorie deficit, we are still making sure that your body is getting enough protein, carbohydrates, and fat so that you don't go into a high state of cortisol. You're able to maintain your energy and your daily need, but we're also starting to balance out all of your blood sugars, your cholesterols, triglycerides, and building lean muscle. And I'm always, anybody who has ever worked with me, I'm like, please just throw away the scale. Don't use the scale. For the love of God, like the scale is the worst measurement of progress and overall health. What is a great measurement of your overall health is the way your body looks, how much energy you have, how you're performing in your workouts, and what your blood work looks like. That's it. I don't care if you are, I'm doing air quotes, supposed to weigh within, for women, you're supposed to be within 140 to 155 pounds. Let's say that's the standard, but you weigh 165 pounds and you look fantastic and your blood work looks perfect and you have a ton of energy. Is it really going to matter for guys? Like, I think I'm supposed to be 195 and I'm supposed to be this percent body fat and this and this. And I'm like, okay, look, like, let's assess this. How do you feel? Do you have plenty of energy? Do you have mental clarity? Do you feel driven, motivated, focused? Do you feel strong in the gym? Do you have high libido? How do you look? Okay, well then who cares? Who cares about what the scale says? That's my opinion on the scale. So that's the first thing I would say is like, get the idea of a specific weight out of your mind and instead focus on how do you want your body to look? How do you want to feel? I always encourage people, go find anybody in the gym or anybody in your daily life who is fit. They're lean, they're athletic, they exude confidence, joy, they seem happy and fulfilled. They just seem very well rounded. And ask them, hey, do you do extreme calorie deficits? Do you skip meals? Do you starve your body and take appetite suppressants? And I guarantee you, they would look at you and be like, skip meals? No way. I eat like every 2.5 hours. Like, I can't wait to eat. Like, I eat all the time. I drink a gallon of water. I take vitamins, like all of the ones that are, okay, let's just say naturally doing this. They're going to say, I go to the gym 4 to 5 days a week. I consistently eat healthy and regularly. I drink water. I don't skip meals. I get regular sleep. Like, it's pretty consistent. So go to the people who already look that way and ask them what they are doing. Going back to life lessons, this goes for anything in life. The people who are truly successful and wealthy, go ask them what they're doing. The people who have a super loving, happy, healthy relationships, go ask them the keys and the secrets to it. Stop going to people who do not live and exude the kind of things in life that you want. And it blows my mind when I see people going to coaches and trainers who they need a little bit of work on themselves in the first place to then have them lead them. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, if you're not watching this, like, you cannot see like my gestures, but it's fine. But it's like, why would you go ask somebody for health advice and fitness advice who clearly is not taking care of their own health and fitness? What makes you think that any advice that they give is going to be beneficial? Why would you go ask somebody who has been broke and bankrupt and constantly struggling how to make money? Why would you ask somebody who's been constantly in terrible relationships over and over how to have a happy and healthy one? Like, just think, common sense. Okay, we're going to skip that. So anyways, going back to this, how do you lose fat without losing lean muscle? Find somebody in the gym and ask them what they're doing. And I guarantee you, they will validate everything that I am saying in this. You eat regular meals throughout the day that are portioned within what your body needs with macronutrients. Okay. So like I said, you're still getting adequate amounts of protein, fats, and carbohydrates, but we slightly reduce the caloric intake so that you are in a little bit of an energy deficit until you hit that goal weight. So once you hit that goal weight, you then get into maintenance mode. Maintenance mode is very specific for each person. What I need may not be what you need. So even in the programs that I have people do, I tell them, like, here's how you figure out, and I did a whole podcast on this too, finding your daily macronutrient needs. Here's how you figure out your daily protein, carb, and fat intake for the sake of weight loss. This is how much of a deficit you will be in until we get close to where you want to look or feel or weigh. So if it's a look and you're like, no, I feel good, I look good, I want to stay right here, then we get you out of a deficit and get you into a maintenance place. And I mean, typically, like, it depends. Actually, I'm not going to give specifics around that because I don't want you going and like eating that, thinking that like, well, Ashley said this is what I'm supposed to eat. Like, no, I don't know for you because I'm not working directly with you. But you can typically tell when your body has settled at a good weight and size that is healthy for it, which is usually when you feel like you have plenty of energy, you don't feel underfueled or deprived, you have a good amount of lean muscle tissue in proportion to your fat as well. Like, body fat is healthy, obviously not in an extreme, but you do need a certain amount of body fat too. But the important thing is calorie deficits are not meant to be long-term. They are meant to be short-term, just for a little bit of a cut. That is it. And like, for me, short-term, I don't really like doing calorie deficits for longer than like 4 to 6 weeks, because after that, it's like, all right, like, any more of a deficit and I don't really want to mess up your metabolism. And sometimes I even have clients take breaks. Like, maybe we do a calorie deficit for a short amount of time, and then we put you in maintenance mode to keep your body healthy and to make sure it doesn't get too stressed. And then we might do a little bit of a calorie deficit and then we'll go back to maintenance. Or we might play around with like, all right, this week we do the calorie deficit. Next week you're in maintenance. There's a lot of ways you can play around with this. And again, we're not talking about extreme deficits. We're talking about healthy, balanced macronutrient deficits just to get to where you feel good. And then we immediately put your body back into a maintenance space. So we can get into whole other things about this, about it depending on like your specific genetic makeup and your body type too. And like mesomorphs, which I would be considered a mesomorph, but like mesomorphs are people who are naturally athletic. They're very strong. They excel in like power and strength and explosive type sports and workouts. So for people who are mesomorph, it is very easy to lose weight and gain weight. It's also very easy to gain muscle. So part of figuring out calorie deficits is figuring out the macronutrient ratio based on your body type as well. So for me, I can't go too high in protein because it is so simple for me to put on muscle mass. So, and I obviously like I'm still getting my macronutrient needs, but I stay within a certain range with protein so that I can continue to have a type of look that I want. And same thing with carbohydrates and fats. Now you get into endomorphs and ectomorphs. That's a little bit different. It can be a little bit harder for both of those body types to put on a lean muscle mass without also putting on a ton of fat as well. So it's playing around with then like a little bit of a higher protein intake to sustain building the lean muscle while keeping the carbohydrates and fats in check. So a lot of those things make a difference too. Of all the things though, just if you had like one takeaway from this entire podcast episode, I would say focus on the long-term game. Focus on how do you want to look? How do you want to feel? Your energy levels, and then work with somebody or ask somebody how they did it. And I guarantee you it's going to be consistent effort over long periods of time. And keeping in mind, like, fasting doesn't feel good just in general. Like it might feel good for like a day or two, but it doesn't feel good long term because you will start to feel the effects. And that's usually what happens is some people will do a fast like 3 or 4 days and they're like, I feel amazing. I feel like I have more energy than I have ever had. I feel super crystal clear. Like, yeah, I feel fantastic. And then give it like a week. And it's like, well, you felt that way because your cortisol levels got a little bit higher. Your body started pumping out insulin, which insulin is sugar. It's what we use in our workouts to get through it and to have enough energy. And then eventually your body ran out. Your body ran out of all the fuel because you've been fasting too much. And now you're like, I feel like I hit a wall. I feel like I totally crashed. And now I don't have the energy to do anything. Fun little saying. I've mentioned these before. Like one of the things I do. So like yesterday when I was feeling like just super like, man, I hit a wall. I have the little urinalysis sticks and I've had clients use this before because it's just kind of fun to get to know your body where the sticks, the colors, well, you have to like know how to read it and what you're looking at to understand what's happening. But so yesterday I was using one of these pee sticks and I like set it down and I'm like, okay, so it's either blood sugar, which I knew it wasn't blood sugar, or I'm underhydrated, which is possible, but like I'm pretty good about hydration, or I'm underfueled. And sure enough, I did it like within over the course of a couple hours. But sure enough, the one that's all about like hydration and recovery and carbohydrates, I was like, I think the baseline is pink. Maybe it's pink, like light pink is like, oh, you're good. Like you're in the green. Dark purple is like, oh my God, your body needs more carbohydrates. I was like way in the dark purple. I was like, dang it, I knew it. So that's what makes today a refeed day of just getting in more carbohydrates and more water. But yeah, they're called urinalysis sticks. They're really fun. Well, I guess it determines on what you consider fun and what I consider fun. I love science and learning about the body. So I experiment all the time with stuff just because I'm like, oh my God, it's so cool. Look at that. Like my body is underfueled and this is what it feels like. So yeah. Anyways, don't fast. Please don't fast for the sake of just simply not adding in the extra stress on your body and to keep cortisol levels within a good place. Like just please don't fast. Be patient. Eat the right amount of protein, fats, and carbs. That is the best way to boost fat loss, is making sure you are getting enough protein to fuel your body with amino acids, to sustain lean muscle. Because remember, we talked about before, when you are underfueled, the first place your body is going to go when it's catabolic, which catabolic is when it doesn't have enough food, is it's going to go to your lean muscle and it's going to start eating away at that because it is packed full of dense nutrients and amino acids that your body needs. So instead of having that happen, eat plenty of protein, eat the right amount of complex carbohydrates for your needs, and eat good quality healthy fats. Healthy fats do not turn into extra body fat. Your body needs a very significant amount of healthy fats in order to provide optimal brain health, heart health, joints, anti-aging benefits, antioxidant benefits. So well-rounded, balanced nutrition over time is what's going to get that to you. And outside of nutrition, from a fitness perspective, the best way to boost fat loss and build lean muscle, 100% strength training. All the ladies that are scared of strength training, I promise it will not make you big and bulky. It will make you lean and fit. All the men out there, strength train. Everybody, just strength train. If you strength train 4 to 5 days a week, the scale may not go down, but your body will start to shift. Your physique will start to tighten up and get smaller regardless of what the scale says. So from a fitness perspective, best way to boost fat loss is through strength training. And if you can, strength training circuits. All right. That's enough for today's episode. If you want help with specific nutrition over a lot of the stuff that we talked about of figuring out your blood work, figuring out your nutrition macros, and coming up with an entire plan to help you, along with having me as your mindset coach, you can schedule a consultation. We'll talk all about it and just kind of go over things to see if we're a good fit. I put the link to do that in the show notes. It's only like 15 minutes. And really, it's just I get to know you, you get to know me. We talk about everything that you're working on and what you want to work through. And then from there, we'll decide like, are we a good fit? If so, then we can help you become your best self. So yeah, if you want to do that, ashleydrummond.com. Link is in the show notes. Last but not least, if you love this episode, please be sure to subscribe. I always come out with these every single week with more tools and tips to help you with your fitness, nutrition, and mindset. So hit the subscribe button and you will see these come out every single Monday. And other than that, in the meantime, I hope you have a fantastic week and I will see you in the next Phoenix Rising episode. Bye.